Welcome back to the Michigan Dynasty here. It is episode 4, and it's a huge episode as we have two rivalry games, one against Little Brother, and then one for the battle for the Little Brown Jug. And then we have a home game against number 8 UCLA. They are 9-0 on the season and really have been the surprise team in the Big Ten this season. This is a team that really was not good a year ago. They've only really played one good team, and that was Oregon, and that was a 33-31 victory on the road. They did play a 6-1 San Diego State team that they beat 59-40. That would indicate to me that maybe their defense is a little rough around the edges, but they did hold Michigan State to 7. They did hold Purdue to 7, but they've allowed 32 to Illinois, 31 to Oregon, 40 to San Diego State. So they have given up a lot of points in a couple of their matchups. It's going to be a good one in the second game of this episode against UCLA. So far in the season, 7 games into it, Bryce Underwood has 10 touchdowns and 5 interceptions with 1,300 yards passing. He's not really been all that great for us. He's been average, but only averaging 195 yards per game passing is not really what we want to see. As far as the running game goes, we brought in Ahmad Hardy and Isaac Brown in the transfer portal. We already have Jordan Marshall on roster. And nobody's really separated themselves as the top back in this offense. Ahmad Hardy with 7.2 yards per carry probably would easily be the number one on any other offense in America. But when you have Isaac Brown and Jordan Marshall, he has to split carries. And he's been pretty good at it so far this season with 8 carries, over 20 yards, 4 touchdowns on the season. And he's been solid, 413 yards rushing, Isaac Brown with 385, and then Jordan Marshall with 187 on 36 carries. The average yards per carry is really solid for Jordan Marshall. It's just the lowest of the 3, so it looks not as good. In the receiving game, Andrew Marsh has started to come along, especially in the last episode with 30 receptions and 411 yards receiving, along with 5 touchdowns so far this season. He does have 4 drops on the year, which we'd like to see that number go down, but only a sophomore, a 91 overall. I anticipate that he will get better in the offseason. That is, if we can keep him around with his pro potential deal breaker. It is not good. Currently sits at a B, and we need that to be an A-. So there's a really good chance that Andrew Marsh could transfer out at the end of this season, and we really don't have too much depth behind him. You have Tommy McIntosh, who's had 21 catches, and Marion Stewart's had 13, and then Dorian Fleming's had 15. And unless we get that championship contender deal breaker to go up, Dorian Fleming may think about transferring out as well. Behind those 4, it is pretty much nobody. Maybe freshman Corin Belser could take on a bigger role next season. It's hard to tell at the moment. Defensively, I think the defense has been really solid overall this year, but one category that I want to see us get better in is pass rush. We don't really get to the quarterback all that much here. You do have 4.5 sacks for Lugard Edok Pai, and then you have 2.5 for Cameron Brandt. Justin Scott has 2, but you're not getting to him on a consistent basis. Your secondary, however, has been really solid this year with TJ Metcalf with 4 interceptions and sophomore corner Shamari Earls with 3 so far this season. Overall, I want to see the team continue to get better. I want to see us be more balanced on offense. I want to see the passing game take the next step. And I want to make sure that we don't lose any of these 3 games in this episode, because one more loss could potentially put you on the outside looking in the playoff picture. As far as recruiting goes, we did lose out on Major President in the last episode. The number 1 player in the nation is going to Oklahoma, and I wish that we could have been able to bring him in, but it is what it is. We are shaping together a really solid class at the moment, and only going after a couple of guys, really. Tavon Klein is one guy we're going after, but Alabama has now taken the lead in that battle, so we may miss out on him. And then you have Kyle Joseph and Dom Adai, 2 defensive tackles, both top 250 talents at the high school level. Ben Shaw, a 4-star center, we're in a good position for. Evan Brady, a 5-star corner. Really solid position there with a Week 10 visit coming up. I think we'll be able to bring him in this episode. Paul Walters, the 3-star JUCO strong safety. And then you have Reggie Raymond, a 4-star pure possession athlete. Probably going to be a tight end for us, so that's going to add to our offense. That would be really solid to bring him in. Zach Singer is a 3-star guard we're going after. Jared Wenton, a 4-star edge rusher. Oscar Casillas was somebody we were not going after, for the longest time, but I felt like we had the hours, and it wouldn't be too bad to bring in a 5'11", 185-pound free safety who can tackle, he's got speed, and he's got really solid coverage skills to start out. Along with what we have in Tavares Hurley, I think that we could have two really strong free safeties in this recruiting class. Damian Wingo is a 3-star guard as well. Josh Yang, a 3-star quarterback out of Southfield, Michigan. And then Bryce Keaton, a 4-star running back out of Lewis Center, Ohio. I know we have 140 hours left over, but I think that with only needing 13 guys, because we only have 13 seniors, I don't expect a whole lot of transfers. This recruiting class is getting to the point where it might get too big, and we may not have the room to go after too many players in the transfer portal. So I want to stop recruiting at this point in the season. I'm going to continue to go after the guys we're going after right now, but I don't think we need to be adding anybody else to our board. We currently have the second best recruiting class in the nation with 12 total commitments, 4 5-stars, George Luter, Casey Heyman, Trayvon Rowe, and Dom Brewski, all 5-star talents coming to Ann Arbor, with 8 4-stars also coming in. It's a really talented class overall, and I feel like it's only going to get better. As far as Minnesota goes, they are 4-3 on the year. PJ Fleck is going to continuously put Minnesota in a position where they can be competitive. They may not be the best team in the conference. They're probably never going to be the best team in the conference, but they're going to compete. They're 2-2 in the Big Ten so far, and for a 78 overall football team, I think that's really solid overall. You have Max at quarterback, a redshirt junior. I'm not going to take the time to try and pronounce his name right now. Max Shikenjansky. I said I wasn't going to do it, and I did it anyway. AJ Turner is the running back for them, a redshirt senior. He is really solid overall. He's somebody to definitely keep an eye on in this matchup. Malachi Coleman and Kendrick Lanier are the 2 receivers in this Gophers offense, and they're really good overall. Malachi Coleman, especially with the 98 speed, is somebody you want to keep an eye on. Their secondary is pretty decent overall. No more Coy Parrish, though, in this secondary for Minnesota. He has transferred out, but their front 7 is just not good, and I anticipate we should be able to run the ball all over these guys. And then our offensive line is not really good as well. But without further ado, let's get into our second road game of the season against the Minnesota Golden Gophers. It's the battle for the Little Brown Jug. This is an important 3-game stretch in this season. I know the last episode we talked about that 4-game stretch being super important, but you could argue this 3-game stretch is just as important. You have to play a really solid Minnesota team who is not only 4-3 and at home, but they are a rival. And a rivalry game is always going to be a tough one. You also have to play Little Brother later on in this episode, and then an undefeated UCLA team. So this is not going to be an easy 3-game stretch. And it begins now with the football at the 49-yard line of Minnesota. And for some reason right now, Bryce Underwood is not on the field. As we throw this one out to Ahmad Hardy, and he's a couple of yards shy of the first down marker. And that's something to keep an eye on right there. Bryce Underwood not on the field in the moment. He is out there now, so don't really know what happened there. 3rd down and inches. Underwood is out there. Ahmad Hardy, though, dealing with a little bit of wear and tear with that right elbow. May need to take a break for a little while. He does pick up the first down, however. 6 carries, 20 yards for Ahmad Hardy early in this game. Michigan met with another 3rd down here at the 47-yard line as Underwood throws this one to Fleming, and he overthrows him. He had him there on the seam route and just overshot his electric tight end. As here's another 3rd down for Michigan at the 25-yard line of Minnesota, the 3rd time with the football in this game. And Isaac Brown's going to be taken down in the backfield. It's a TFL for Minnesota. And right now, the Gophers are doing an excellent job at shutting Michigan down early in this game. On 4th down and 3 with the first quarter winding down, Andrew Marsh was the intended target, and it's batted down at the line of scrimmage, incomplete. And Minnesota with another stop, as we will get the football back again, but this defense for the Gophers is keeping them in it early in this game. 3rd down and 7 upcoming. We spread it out, and Marion Stewart in motion here for the Wolverines, as we're going to throw it out to Stewart, and he drops it. If it can go wrong, it will go wrong at this point in the game. Bryce Underwood, 2 for 8 passing And now a big-time kick for the freshman kicker, Chad Dennis. As this one is up, and it is going to be good. 3-0, Michigan takes the lead finally in this game. Jiminy Christmas, we have to pick it up here on offense if we're going to win this game, because this is the type of game where you allow a team to stick around and big things might happen. Michigan hit with another 3rd down here as Isaac Brown underneath will catch this one. He's got the 1st down. And finally, we move the chains on a 3rd down. Ahmad Hardy checks back in. He does have a left foot injury now that he's dealing with, and I think it might be beneficial to take him out and put in the true freshman to see what he can do. Here is Hardy up the middle, and we're going to take him out now because he is at a point in this game where keeping him in there is hurting him more than it's helping the team. 2nd and 5 now for Isaac Brown. He gets to give up the middle, and he's going to score a touchdown. 10-0 Michigan, as finally the offense is getting a little bit of momentum in this game. The support you guys have shown so far in the series is amazing, and it's just continuously pushing me to put out this content and improve the content overall. So I appreciate all the love and support you guys are showing. If you guys are enjoying this episode so far, leave a like, and I will be sure to continue with this series as Minnesota scores some points. And it's a 10-7 game. And this is where Minnesota would like to be. This is where PJ Fleck wants his team to be in this game. As here's Andrew Marshall in the reception. He's got a 1st down. 3 timeouts for Michigan here, so there's no reason to do anything stupid like turn the ball over. We will go hurry up, though, as Isaac Brown still the running back for Michigan. Brown will get the carry up the middle, and he picks up a couple of yards. Andrew Marsh slot left here as he's going to be wide open. Andrew Marsh with the 1st down reception up to the 47 of Minnesota. 47 seconds left. Tommy McIntosh, the intended target, and we'll use our 1st timeout. That pass probably should not have been thrown by Bryce Underwood. It was an excellent play by Damon Walters, the free safety for Minnesota. Nearly intercepted. So with 44 seconds to go, Tommy McIntosh underneath, and he's going to reel this one in, and pick up 8 yards. We will look to go hurry up here. Taking a lot of time off the clock. 3rd down and 5 now. Here is Underwood. Amarion Stewart is wide open, and he reels this one in. It's a 1st down up to the 31-yard line. I feel like my commentary right now is a little rough. 21 seconds remaining. Amarion Stewart's got to get set here. 17 seconds. We may leave a timeout on the field, and we're going to. We're probably going to leave a timeout here in this half. We should have taken one right there. 14 seconds to go here in the 1st half as Underwood is going to get out of the pocket. Amarion Stewart is open inside the 5-yard line. 1st and goal to go for Michigan. What a pass by Bryce Underwood on the move there. And you got to anticipate you're going to get at least 2 plays here. As Ahan Notu is in the game for Michigan, the true freshman running back. He is open in the flat, and he drops it. They want us to kick the field goal right now. I don't want to kick it with 5 seconds to go. I think we have time for one more play potentially, especially with 2 timeouts. We don't have to worry about it here. Here's Ahan Notu. The freshman running back scores a touchdown. Welcome to the University of Michigan, Ahan Notu. With Ahmad Hardy kind of banged up in this game, I think it's important to give him a rest and allow some other guys to take over. David Ahan Notu, a freshman running back, is the one who scores this time. Jordan Marshall and Isaac Brown will also be expected to step up for the remainder of this game. As we are over the halfway point here in the 3rd quarter, as Michigan takes over here, 3rd down and 6. Isaac Brown is the running back here for the Wolverines on offense. As Underwood will throw this one underneath to him on the screen, and Isaac Brown's got a 1st down and more. Isaac Brown to the 21 of Minnesota. Another 3rd down for Michigan. A lot of 3rd downs in this game. Luckily now we're starting to convert on these 3rd downs as Andrew Marsh is wide open. He's got this one inside the 10, and it's another 1st down for the Michigan offense. Bryce Underwood with an interception in this game now. This first down and goal, we go full house here. Underwood on the keeper. Bryce Underwood will walk in. Touchdown, Michigan. I guess he didn't walk in. He kind of got hit into the end zone. But they do extend their lead. It's 24-7. As we're 1 quarter away from winning this game and retaining the Little Brown Jug. Notu is the running back for Michigan here, and he's going to put his head down and pick up the first down and move the chains again. You know, when you take a guy like Coy Parrish out of this defense for Minnesota, you can really see how much it hurts them. He's such a difference maker at safety, and they don't have him right now. He transfers away, and you can tell. Michigan ball, first and goal at the 8-yard line now. 3 running backs in the backfield. It's David Notu up the middle, and he'll pick up maybe a yard. Trying to get him the ball here in this game. 8 carries, only 16 yards. It's not been an efficient day for him, but he did score his very first touchdown in this game. As here is Jordan Marshall, and he is stuck at the 3-yard line. I'd love to get him the ball back here again. Only 6 carries for Marshall. Wishbone offense now. Let me know in the comments what you guys think of this offense. I know it may be annoying to continuously see it, as we're not going to be able to score here. Chad Dennis will attempt a field goal, and it is good. 27-7 the score here, as Michigan should move to 6-2 on the year. A little bit of defensive action here. That's the one thing that I kind of hate about Play the Moments, is sometimes you can go games where you just do not see your defense on the field. As this one's thrown up and broken up by Mason Curtis. We turn away the Gophers. But I would like to see a little bit more of this defense, though. I think they've played really well this year. And when you don't get the chance to see them all that often, you really don't get to admire how good they really are. As that's a terrible run on my part. Second down and 11 now. An RPO to Andrew Marsh. He's got it up the sidelines, and he picks up 10 yards. 6 catches, 59 yards for Andrew Marsh. As Isaac Brown checks in at the 10-yard line, Brown will get the carry. Brown will put his foot in the ground and juke for a first down. 3 tight ends in the game now. Jordan Marshall the back. The toss to him. Touchdown, Jordan Marshall. And at this point, Minnesota, they may just look to run the clock out when they get the ball back. 34-7 is the score, and it's a dominant victory for Michigan on the road. That's exactly what you needed right there. After the tough loss on the road against Oregon, you stay on the road, and you beat a solid Minnesota team 34-7. Bryce Underwood wasn't out there for the first play of the game that we saw, but he did come into the game and threw for 176 yards, a touchdown, and had at least 1 interception. I'm not sure if he had any more than that. But again, the offense just really didn't do a whole lot. 70 total plays, only 319 yards. I mean, 4.6 yards per play was lower than what Minnesota had on offense. We did run the ball for 141 yards, but overall passing the ball only 5.6 yards per pass is just not that great. 5 total turnovers for Minnesota is really what kept them out of this game, because overall their yards per play was about what we were at. But only 11 completions on 30 attempts for Max Shikenjansky with 4 interceptions is just not good. A.J. Turner had 38 yards rushing for him, and then Kendrick Lanier with 135 yards receiving on 8 catches. So of the 11 completions, 8 of them were to Lanier. For Michigan, Ryan Brown did come in early in the game and threw 2 pass attempts, and then Bryce Underwood would return. I'm assuming after the injury that he might have had. We didn't really see any wear and tear with him, so I'm not sure really what happened in that situation. But he was decent overall, had a rushing touchdown in this game. But Ahmad Hardy, 10 carries, 45 yards. He did sit the remainder of this game. Jordan Marshall, 9 for 32. David Notu, the freshman, with 8 carries for 16 yards. And then Isaac Brown, 6 for 23 and a touchdown. Andrew Marsh, 6 catches, 59 yards. Like to see that right there. And Mariano Stewart had 41 yards. And then defensively, I'm curious to see how these 5 turnovers came to be. Justin Scott, 1.5 sacks. Jeff Fair, the freshman defensive tackle, with a sack. And then TJ Metcalf with a half sack. It was Brandon Hillman, Mason Curtis, Troy Bowles, and Jair Hill, all with interceptions in this game. And then Cole Sullivan had a forced fumble and 2 fumble recoveries in this game. But it's a 34-7 victory for Michigan. We moved to 6-2 on the year. We should move up in the polls. And I'm thinking in this episode, we may get a look at what the college football playoff bracket would look like as well. So that would be interesting to see. 4-1 in conference play. The conference championship is still in front of us. Our goals are still in front of us at this point in the season. We do bring in the commitment of 4-star defensive tackle Dom Adai out of Detroit, Michigan. And then we have another commitment. It's 4-star center Ben Shaw out of Detroit, Michigan. So really getting into Detroit here and bringing in some of the top talent in the biggest city in Michigan. You love to see it right there. And we also move up to 13th in the nation here. And here's a look at some potential transfer risks. Jordan Marshall is a player that may transfer out because of playing style. Isaac Brown may transfer out because of the championship contender deal breaker. And then, of course, we've known about the Andrew Marsh pro potential, and that could really hurt us. I do not want to miss out on him. And then we may lose some guys because of coach prestige, but that's going to go up in no time. So if guys are looking to leave because of coach prestige, well, they're going to miss out on future success, and that's not my problem. But UCLA is going to be undefeated for this matchup. I don't think anybody expected to see the Bruins undefeated at this point in the year. They're the number 8 team in the country, 9-0. We talked about their schedule earlier in the episode. It hasn't been a team that I think has faced a tough amount of opponents. They faced a good Oregon team that is ranked 7th in the nation, and they faced a solid San Diego State team that may have a chance at sneaking in as the group of 5 conference champion potentially. And as it stands right now in the college football playoff bracket, we would be on the outside looking in at the moment. So this is a huge game. We cannot afford to lose this game against UCLA. If we do, you can pretty much kiss our college football playoff hopes goodbye. They're undefeated. That would be our 3rd loss of the season. And overall, I'm curious to how they've gotten to this point. Well, it's because their redshirt junior quarterback, Nico Iamaleava, the former 5-star transferring over from Tennessee, didn't have a great year in real life this season, but so far this year has 20 passing touchdowns, only 2 interceptions, and has used his legs beautifully with 494 yards rushing with 7 touchdowns to go along with it. This is a player that's probably going to be in Heisman contention here, and with a huge victory here over Michigan and a huge victory late in the season over USC, he could certainly win the Heisman potentially. Javian Thomas is the running back for UCLA. And then at receiver, they have some pretty solid weapons out there, but not a whole lot of speed to really worry about. Mikey Matthews is the fastest with 92 speed. You know, that's not something that intimidates me. Minnesota had faster receivers, if we're being honest. One of their best edge rushers is going to be injured for this game. John Henry Daly, 88 overall, will be out, and Marcus White will take over that spot. So they're definitely going to be missing him, especially when you look at this front 7. It's not very good. The secondary is not very good either. This is a defense that's not good. I mean, Minnesota's defense was a lot better than this. Their best player isn't even going to be playing in this game, John Henry Daly. But his backup is probably still their second best player, and Marcus White, the senior edge rusher. You know, unless we allow Iamaleava to just pick us apart, I anticipate we are going to win this game. I know they're 9-0, but when it's all said and done, I just don't think that they are that great of a team, if I'm being completely honest. And Iamaleava is in 4th in Heisman voting at the moment. Rocco Beck transferred over to Clemson, and he's in 1st place. Connor Weigman is at Texas Tech now, so his 3rd team in his college career. Gunnar Stockton, feels like this guy's 40 years old. And Jaden Maiava is in 5th place, so it's a quarterback's award. As far as recruiting, we have been locked out by Tavon Klein, and it's really because we didn't get a visit scheduled. If we would have scheduled a visit, I think there's a really solid chance that we could have competed in that battle. We wouldn't even have allowed Clemson to get to that point, but we are going to miss out on the 5-star linebacker. Kyle Joseph we should bring in very shortly. Evan Brady has a visit in week 10, which is this week right here. So this is a huge visit for Evan Brady. If we can win this game, I think we could bring him in. And why does he look like he's 50 years old? Bald-headed and all. Paul Walters, we're getting close to a commitment out of him. Reggie Raymond, the athlete, pure possession tight end. We got a visit here, but I think that it's going to be a battle that's hard to win. We'll see if we're able to bring him in. Jaron Big Hill, 4-star tight end. He's going to Iowa. That is like tight end U, so it makes sense. Zach Singer and Jared Winton in first place for them. Oscar Casillas has a visit this week, but Georgia has also scheduled a visit, and they look like the runaway favorites in this battle. Damian Wingo in a good position, and then Josh Yang and Bryce Keaton were the only team that has offered those two. But the time for talk is over. UCLA 9-0, but we have criticized their schedule. We've said, we don't think your schedule is that great. We don't think you're that great of a team. And we're going to prove ourselves right in this game right here. I mean, realistically, I would say that they're probably the fourth or fifth best team that we've played so far this season. You can definitely make an argument that Penn State's a better team than UCLA, that Indiana was a better team than UCLA, maybe even Iowa. And I could just be talking a bunch of crap right now, and UCLA beat the crap out of us. But when I looked at their roster, and especially considering that their best defensive players out for this game, I just don't think that they're going to have a chance. But I certainly did not expect them to be as good as they are on paper, as their schedule would suggest. They're 9-0, 6-0 in conference play, and they look like they could be a team that is going to the college football playoff for the very first time after having a terrible season a year ago. As we have moved into the red zone early in this game at the 10-yard line, looking to score the game's first points. First down and 10, Jordan Marshall checks into the game, I formation. Two tight ends and a fullback. Marshall up the middle. He's fighting down to the 2-yard line. Second and goal upcoming for Michigan, as we're looking to punch it in here and take the lead on the 8th-ranked UCLA Bruins and give them their first loss of the season. Marshall up the middle. He's in for the touchdown. A statement drive for the Wolverines early in this game. A primetime matchup. And the question now, how will UCLA respond in this game? And I'm looking at the drive here. It started with a 3-yard rush by Ahmad Hardy, a 4-yard rush by Isaac Brown. Bryce Underwood then ran it for 29 yards. Isaac Brown ran it for 19 more. And then Jordan Marshall with back-to-back runs to cap off the drive. We didn't even throw the ball. We just ran it down UCLA's throat and made it look easy. As we have the football back, the defense at the moment is lighting it up. As Isaac Brown is the running back now, we spread things out on third down. Brown, the draw, and what a play there by the defense, as Isaac Guarnera was just blown up. And now we'll have to look to tack on 3 with a 49-yard field goal, as Chad Dennis, the true freshman kicker, has been pretty solid overall this season, as he will kick this one, and it is good, just barely through the uprights. But Michigan takes a 10-0 lead over the Bruins. And they still have been shut out, as we have the ball at the 12-yard line. UCLA has had nothing going on offense so far. Here is Jordan Marshall up the middle. He picks up a couple of yards. You know, I talked my crap coming into this game. I thought, man, they're really not that good. I looked at their schedule. I looked at their roster. I thought they're not that good, as Zach Marshall with an acrobatic catch, but it was a loss of yardage at the end of the day. And we have really proven that my thought process is correct. They just really are not that good. So third down and 10 at the 12-yard line. It would be really good if we could score a touchdown right here and make this a 17-0 game, as Underwood's going to step up. Underwood puts his head down and scores the touchdown. It's a 17-0 start for the Wolverines. The Bruins have had no answer in this game. And that's the type of run right there by your quarterback that just makes you go, yep, we just have that it factor at quarterback. Tommy McIntosh with an excellent block. And then at the end of the run, Underwood putting his head down and fighting for the extra yardage. What is UCLA going to do? As we have the football at the 11-yard line now. Again, UCLA with no points. Here's the gift to Ahmad Hardy now, as he picks up maybe a yard. 3 carries, 43 yards for Ahmad Hardy. so far on the day. This is not how I expected this game to go. I expect us to win it, but I did not expect to really blow this team out. As Amarion Stewart in the end zone, can't come down with it. Don't get me wrong, though. I did expect to beat this team, just not this badly. We'll see if it continues to go this poorly for UCLA. As Andrew Marsh to the end zone, can't come down with it. We're going to bring out our freshman kicker, Chad Dennis, to make this a 20-0 game. The kick by Dennis is through. And it's been all Michigan here in the first half. We'll see if UCLA can turn around this football game. And it feels like they get down there. Like, let's go to Super Sim. Can we look at the play history? Like, they march their way down the field here, and then they just don't get anything out of it. Like, you threw the ball away with 9 seconds to go. Like, I don't know. They went all the way down to the Michigan 16-yard line and left with no points. And that's not the first time that they've done that in this game, where they've marched all the way down the field and came away with no points. They went to the 43 of Michigan and came away with no points. And now we have the ball at the 28-yard line, looking to add on more points. It's just been one of the weirdest games that I think I've ever simulated on this game. As here is Hogan Hansen. He's open. He's got the first down reception, and Bryce Underwood only has 76 yards passing. It's just been total domination for Michigan in this game on the ground. First down and 10 now. Here is Isaac Brown up the middle. Picks up a couple of yards. 6 carries for him on the day. Only 31 yards rushing. As UCLA has a guy lined up offsides. This is a bug that just now started. I guess if we do something like that, he'll go back. If you notice in the last game, it happened a couple of times. It's like a bug that I've never seen before. As Underwood puts his head down and picks up the first down. Now, although this is like, I guess, my second series, but although this is my first series that I've done here, I've played a lot of college football 26, and I've not really seen that bug before. So I'm not sure where it's coming from. As Isaac Brown extends the lead, there's a chance we might shut this team out. This has been a shocker to me. Or I guess what hasn't been a shocker to me is the fact that we've put up so many points. Because we looked at their schedule earlier, and we saw that, San Diego State put up 40 on them, and Oregon put up over 30 on them. We knew that their defense was a little bit suspect, but we didn't realize that their offense was not going to be able to move the ball on us. As with a 17-point lead, we have the football back here. As Ahmad Hardy really dealing with a lot of wear and tear. That's something I'm noticing about Ahmad Hardy so far. As Michael Kaapana comes in for him. 2nd and 13. It's a play action as Underwood gets out of the pocket. Sets his feet. McIntosh at the feet. And he's not going to be able to bring that one in. So 3rd down and 13. Here is Jordan Marshall up the middle. He picks up a couple of yards, and we'll send out Chad Dennis again for his 3rd field goal attempt of this game. And he's a perfect 3 for 3. And again, that's the one thing I don't like about play the moments. This is the first time that we've seen our defense on the field. And it's the 4th quarter. So, yeah, I'm not a big fan of not being able to see our defense out on the field all that much in this game. As Iamaliava throws and the pass is broken up. It's a turnover on downs, and the Michigan defense has just done a great job in this game on a Heisman contending quarterback. After the turnover on downs for UCLA, we're looking to add to our lead. Isaac Brown is going backwards. You're going the wrong way, buddy. As Michael Kaapana will stay in the game now for Ahmad Hardy. As he'll get the give here. Kaapana up the middle and picks up 10 yards. His 2nd carry of the game now. 3rd down and 4 for Michigan. Here is Marsh in the end zone. Touchdown, Michigan. The sophomore receiver, Andrew Marsh, he may leave at the end of this season. But we're going to get as much out of him as we can, as that was only his first catch of the game. 1 catch, 8 yards, and a touchdown for Andrew Marsh, as he was bumped there, but the contested catch ability out of Marsh, and that extends the Michigan lead. 4th down and 3 here for UCLA. As this is a give to Javian Thomas, and he's not going to get the first down. They cannot do anything right in this game. And it's getting to the point now where we're beating them so bad that their chances of going to the college football playoff may be going away. They could win out the remainder of this game, but the fact that you're getting dominated so bad, there's a chance they may not even be able to go to the college football playoff because of this loss. Especially if we score one more time here, as Jordan Marshall's taken down in the backfield by Max Tucker. 2nd down and 13 now, another toss to Marshall. He's got the edge. Jordan Marshall picks up 5 yards, 3rd and 8 upcoming. Just an unfortunate game for UCLA. And when you looked at their roster, it kind of felt like they don't have the defense that you see out of college football playoff level teams. They just didn't. As here is Marsh, touchdown Michigan. They add to their lead. It's a 45-10 lead for the Wolverines, or 44-10 lead for the Wolverines. UCLA does add a touchdown at the end, but it doesn't matter. It's still a blowout victory for Michigan. That will certainly bring in a couple more commitments and pretty much round out what is looking to be an excellent recruiting class. And with that win right there, it really feels like we have the team that is capable of winning out and going to the college football playoff. And again, it wasn't because our offense played especially well. Only 323 yards of offense, 6.3 yards per play. We did run the ball really well in this game, and I kind of felt like that was a strong possibility. Passing the ball, 19 attempts, only 9 completions. That's less than 50% completion percentage, which is a little concerning. 2 touchdowns, though. Didn't turn the ball over, which was good. Isaac Brown was your lead running back. Jordan Marshall. And then Ahmad Hardy on only 6 carries had 83 yards. If he could just stay fresh, Ahmad Hardy could be could be a 1,000-yard rusher potentially by the end of the year. And then Andrew Marshall, only 2 catches, but they were 2 touchdowns, though. So at the end of the day, you're happy with that production. And then, like I said, I felt like we had a good chance at getting to the quarterback in this game. We finished with 3 sacks, Cameron Brandt with 2, and then Trey Pearson, Enau Etta split a sack, and then TJ Metcalf with yet another interception. I think that's number 5 on the season for TJ Metcalf. Lugard Idakpayi left this game with an injury, though. And that injury is going to end his season. 19 weeks, torn rotator cuff. We'll go ahead and place him on the injured reserve. I think that's a way that you can give somebody like a medical red shirt potentially. I'm not even really sure, though. Xavier Smith, though, only 2 more weeks with that broken toe, so he will be returning pretty soon. And with Idakpayi being sidelined now, it's a good moment to maybe look at who we have that could potentially take over that spot. Of course, Enau Etta is our edge rusher when it gets to the 3-4 style of play. But at 6'5", 321, he's not really an edge rusher. But we're going to keep him there in that package. But at rush left end, rush right end, I would like to look to put somebody else in. Not Enau Etta. How about Connor Hyman? True freshman. 80 overall. He's a Sam linebacker, so he's more of that stand-up linebacker, but has some pass rushing ability with 86 finesse moves, 76 power. 82 strength was pretty solid for 6'1", 223. We're going to put him in and see what he can do. And as we simulate to the next week, I do anticipate a couple of commitments here with the way that we performed. And if it's not this week, it's definitely next week. But 4-star defensive tackle Kyle Joseph out of Delton, Michigan is the first commitment. 5-star corner Evan Brady out of Okeechobee, Florida, as those are your 2 commitments. We do miss out on Oscar Casillas, though, the 4-star safety. He's going to Georgia. As far as recruiting at the moment, there's really not a whole lot to talk about here. We are going to hard sell on Jared Wenton. But in the case of Reggie Raymond, we did make some ground up, but I don't think it's going to be enough to bring him in over Alabama. So it's looking like he's probably not going to be heading to Ann Arbor. And then top 100, edge rusher Jared Wenton. We are able to hard sell. And I think by doing that, we're going to strengthen our chances in bringing him in. Aside from that, there's really not a whole lot to talk about when it comes to recruiting. We're still done at this point. We have 550 hours that we could spend maybe scouting to try and find some hidden gems. but I'm satisfied with what our class is looking like at the moment. It's the #1 ranked class in America, 5 stars. At this point, there's not really much you can do to make it any better. There's really not. Maybe you find one of those like crazy 3-star dual threat quarterbacks, those hidden gems, but I'm not really looking to do that. I'm satisfied with what we have. We have a top 100 ranked recruit in Manny Bragg. We could bring in a 3-star Michigan kid as a backup. I like what we have. And the great thing is about Josh Yang, he's a 3-star. He's not a gem, but he's got 90 throw power. You just don't see that out of 3-stars, though. You know, that's the type of player you could bring him in, and he can work the short game if you needed him to. I actually kind of like his skill set. But that should put us in the college football playoff bracket here. We would be a 10 seed taking on Texas. And that'd be like the 3rd year in a row we'd be taking on Texas. So that'd be interesting. Duke is projected to be a 4 seed at 8-1. So this is what the bracket looks like at the moment. Obviously, we'll figure out what it looks like once we get past the conference championship. As far as that goes, UCLA and USC are in the front. But because we beat UCLA, we should have a head-to-head tiebreaker against them. And then from there, it would really go down to, well, what happened between Nebraska and Michigan. There's a good chance we could be playing in the Big Ten championship game, though. So the next game is against our little brother, Michigan State. They are terrible, like always. They're 4-5. They're 1-5 in conference play. Their quarterback, Aiden Childs, is not even going to be there in real life. And a receiver, they got some pretty good talent in Christian McCray and then Nick Marsh, who entered the transfer portal in real life. If they know what's good for them, they'll get out of East Lansing. Shamar Easter is going to be injured for Michigan State, and that will now place their 65 overall freshman tight end out on the field. It's just what can go wrong will go wrong with Michigan State. This is a team that, let's just face it, they're terrible. And I don't know what's going on. And this is me being real at this point. You know, I can talk crap about Michigan State, but this is me being real at this point. Like, why is this team so bad? This is a team that's been to the college football playoff. Of course, they got blown out against Alabama, but still, I mean, you got yourself to the college football playoff. You were consistently competing for Big Ten championships, and you've just become a terrible program. Like, what is going so wrong in East Lansing? As we'll battle for the Paul Bunyan Trophy here, as it's Michigan versus Michigan State in this rivalry game. But the one thing that everybody loves about rivalry games is the fact that anything can happen. Anything can happen in a rivalry game. We saw it a season ago when Michigan went on the road to Ohio Stadium in Columbus and beat them with a team that was not good. And then fast forward a year, we're a lot better of a team and we get demolished at home. Anything can happen in rivalry games. I just wish our head coach wasn't a professional gooner. Like I mentioned earlier, though, I do appreciate the support you guys have shown in this series. It's been a lot of fun to put together. And this is not it for this channel. You know, continuously, I feel like we go through ups and downs, but this is a serious up. This is a serious high. And I'm going to ride it. I'm really enjoying everything you guys are doing to support the channel. When college football 26 or 27 comes out, as Tommy McIntosh is open, he's got a first down. It's a 21-yard completion. But when college football 27 comes out, I do plan on doing a full Dynasty where I play every single snap of every single game. The team has already been decided. At this point, you know, you're probably thinking, how have I decided what team I'm going to rebuild in college football 27 when the real life season it hasn't even finished yet? Well, I'll give you a little bit of a hint as to what team I'm going to be taking over. If you guys have been a long-term fan of the channel, then you'll know who Jalen Clark is from my college football or NCAA 06 race for the Heisman. If you don't know who that is, I encourage you to go look at that series. After you watch that series, go ahead and watch Utah State, that Dynasty on college football 25, and you're going to get a lot of backstory as to who Jalen Clark is. And it'll make sense what team we're going to be rebuilding in college football 27. So that's a little bit of a teaser as to what college football 27 is going to look like for this channel. But I'm already excited for it. As Bryce Underwood on the read option. He's to the outside. Bryce Underwood. Touchdown, Michigan. What a run by Underwood. An excellent play as Michigan takes a 7-0 lead here in the Big House. over little brother. It's satisfying when a read option works. It feels like in Madden over the last, 5 to 10 years, the read option hasn't really been good. It's really an effective play in this game here, as we're going to get the opportunity to see our defense. Finally, it feels like we never get to see our defense on the field. Here in the first quarter, we're going to see our defense on the field. Here's Childs to give. Troy Bulls, I ran right past him. It is still a TFL for Shamari Earls, as that'll bring up a 3rd and 2. At the Michigan 13-yard line, Aiden Childs, the quarterback. Where will he play in 2027? It's a first down for the Spartans. 1st and goal for Michigan State at the 10-yard line. Here is the give to the running back. He's taken down for no gain, as Connor Hyman is out there at edge rusher for Michigan. So somebody to keep an eye on. True freshman Connor Hyman has excellent finesse moves. He's got speed and he's got strength for the size that he has, as that's a direct snap to the running back, and Mason Curtis flies up and makes the play. Somebody left a comment earlier on in one of the episodes about how Mason Curtis should be playing at free safety, and he's played really well, filling in for Xavier Smith. It's going to be hard to keep him off the field, as the throw to the end zone is caught for a touchdown. Michigan State's going to tie this game up. Didn't expect that start for the Spartans, as we'll take over now. 1st and 10 at the 25-yard line. Seeing a lot of this offense early, as here is a play action now. Hoffman is open down the sidelines, and it's floated up too long, and it's going to be intercepted by Michigan State. He had Jalen Hoffman open. He probably should have just thrown it with a lot of zip. I floated it up, and the safety had plenty of time to get over there. As you watch it back, Hoffman is open. It's not a matter of, is Jalen Hoffman open? He is open right there. And if you can put that ball to about the 42-yard line on a line, it's a catch. And it's probably going to be a first down. Instead, you float it to the 50, where that safety is able to get all the way over there from the hash mark. That's on me right there, as Michigan State takes over. I got to go back to play the moments here. We'll play this play out, though. Let's see what Connor Hyman can do off the edge. He's going to go after the running back, and Childs keeps it. He's got a first down up to the 27-yard line. 17-yard carry for Aiden Childs. And now Michigan State has moved into the red zone at the 11-yard line now. This is not really the way you want it to work out if you're Michigan here. Good run, and it's going to be a touchdown for Michigan State. Are you kidding me? Tackling. You have to tackle in games like this. And it's been said for a long time, the team that runs for the most amount of yards in this game is usually the team that wins this game. And right now, Michigan State and Jace Clarizio are just doing that. They're running the ball. And the defense is back out on the field here in the first quarter again. 150 yards of offense for Michigan State. I talked my crap against UCLA, and it didn't haunt me. I talked my crap about Michigan State, and it's maybe coming back to haunt me early in this game, as Aiden Childs pulls down the read option, and he's taken down by Justin Scott. But admittedly, I did say at the beginning of this game, anything can happen in these rivalry games, as this one's thrown underneath to one of those true freshman tight ends, and he pulls it down for a pickup of 5, as Aiden Childs has begun this game 9 for 9 passing, and he's been extremely efficient. 3rd down and 5 now. Here is Childs in the pocket. He steps up. Childs, he's going to scramble. He's got a first down. Goal to go, Michigan State. First quarter winding down now for Michigan State. Here's Childs in the pocket. He throws this one out to the running back. My user defense is terrible. Thankfully, we do funnel him back inside with Troy Bowles, and the defense can corral him, as that is going to take us to the second quarter. Michigan State leads 14-7. What an interesting game that we have seen so far here from the Big House. Michigan State has outgained us in the running game, 43-42. And then when you look at the time of possession, they've dominated the time of possession as well. And one thing I'm thinking about is I am thinking about adding another minute to the quarter length, so making it 8-minute quarters. Just let me know what you guys think. That way we can get the plays per game accurate and the offensive stats can look accurate as well. And it's another touchdown from Michigan State. Brandon Hillman tried to make a play on the ball, and he just missed. And that's Lewis's second touchdown reception of the game. Can the offense please move the football, please? How many times do I have to say please there? We do have the ball now. 2nd down and 6 at the 18 of Michigan State. Underwood on the quarterback keeper. Puts his foot in the ground, and Underwood's got a first down. Goal to go from the 8-yard line. So 1st down and goal here. Play action. Fleming is open. Touchdown, Michigan. Dorian Fleming. And that's an excellent answer right there. You allowed Michigan State to go 21 unanswered, or was it 14 unanswered? And you've made some plays, and now you have the ball back 3rd and 6 with an opportunity to extend this drive and try and tie this game up. Here's Underwood in the pocket. Andrew Marsh, the deep ball. It's launched deep. Marsh can't come down with it. 4th down upcoming, and Michigan will have to punt. But an opportunity to get some points here before the end of the half. Andrew Marsh lined up in a slot. He's getting pressed. It may be an opportunity to look at Tommy McIntosh on the post. He's got it in stride. Tommy McIntosh to the 25-yard line. I was looking at Andrew Marsh, and then I saw Tommy McIntosh just burned his defender. He's got 4 catches for 93 yards in this game. 1st and 10, Michigan. Here is Andrew Marsh on the drag route. Marsh takes this one to the outside, and he's taken down at the 9-yard line. This may be a game in which Bryce Underwood has had to put up more passing yards than we've asked him to put up all season long. Here's Underwood in the pocket. He steps up. Underwood trying to use his legs, and he's taken down after a gain of 1. If we were to make it to the college football playoff, the goal is to... Underwood sacked back at the 16-yard line. But if we were to make it to the college football playoff, the goal would be to play full games and kind of give you guys a sneak preview as to what my college football 27 dynasty would look like. I think that's a good way for me to get used to making content like that while also keeping this a fast-paced series. But the playoff games would be full games. Conference championship games would just be play the moments. So if we were to make it there, that's what you guys can expect. As I'm winding the clock down, we're trying to score a touchdown here before the end of the half. 3rd down and goal. Fleming's open. Dorian Fleming, touchdown, Michigan. We're going to tie this game up before the half. He just burned his man. Dorian Fleming is pretty much like having a big, strong receiver out there, but he's lined up against linebackers. What a pass by Bryce Underwood. He takes the sack so that he can add more passing yards to his total. What a route by Dorian Fleming. As we enter the second half, Michigan State does score a touchdown. And now with the ball, a huge play upcoming here. Michigan needs to get off of the field. 28-21 to score for the Spartans. As they're throwing, here's the pressure, and the pass is incomplete. And that'll force a punt. Michigan into the red zone now. 1st and goal at the 6-yard line. About midway through the 3rd quarter. Huge moment in this game. Here's Marshall to the edge. Touchdown, Michigan. This game's tied yet again. What a game. If we were playing this as a full game, I'd be excited. As Michigan State's moving down the field here. They have it at the 39-yard line. 3rd and 11 upcoming. As we're going to double up 20. He already has 2 touchdowns in this game. Here is Aiden Childs in the pocket. Throws. It's caught, but well shy of the 1st down marker. And now we have the ball. 1st and 10 at the 15-yard line. Tie game. We go wishbone. Let's see if it works this time. Here's Ahmad Hardy up the middle. Nowhere to go. Ben Nelson with 3 TFLs and 2 sacks in this game. This is the type of game where legends are made. And Michigan State's trying to create their own legend here. Here's Zach Marshall. We're going to throw it to him. Can he come down with it? He dropped it. Zach Marshall dropped it. That's terrible. That was terrible by Zach Marshall. I don't know what else to say. 3rd down and 10. Here is Underwood. Pressure in his face. He's going down. He's sacked back at the 20-yard line. The 4th sack of the game for Michigan State. As Chad Dennis comes out, they're going to come after it, and it's nearly blocked. And there's a penalty flag down. It's going to be a roughing the kicker. And of course, we're going to accept this penalty to extend our drive and make it a 1st down and 10. There's no world you would live in where you would decline that penalty. As Ahmad Hardy in the full house pistol, they give it to him and he goes nowhere. This Michigan State defense has shut down the run pretty much from start to finish in this game. 2nd down and 10 now for Michigan, as here is Brown on the carry. He picks up 3 yards, so 3rd down upcoming. 7 carries, 18 yards for Isaac Brown. 3 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. 3rd down and 7. Here's Underwood in the pocket. He steps up, puts his head down, and scores the touchdown. Bryce Underwood playing with that it factor at the moment. And with 2:51 remaining, the game is on the line here in Ann Arbor. A rivalry game for the ages. 35-28 the score. 1st and 10 Michigan State. They have plenty of time. They have 3 timeouts as they dump this one to the running back. He picks up 6 yards. Aiden Childs has 262 yards passing, 3 touchdowns. Underwood only with 214. I expected his total to be a little bit higher than it is. As here is Childs right in front of Cole Sullivan. It's a 1st down. 2:35 remaining in this game. It's a 7-point game. Michigan State at midfield. Play action here. Childs throws the deep ball. Shamari Earls one-on-one coverage, and it's broken up by the sophomore corner, who's playing at an All-American level right now this season. That brings up 2nd down now. Michigan State spreading things out. Childs in the pocket. Throws this one, and it is nearly intercepted. I don't even think Shamari Earls expected it to be right in his face. And then Troy Bowles about picked it off after it hit off of Shamari Earls' face. 3rd and 10 now. They motion out the running back now. Childs is sacked in the backfield. It is TJ Metcalf. As Michigan State at this point might think about punting it, they are going to go for it. It makes sense to go for it here. I'm not saying it doesn't. But on 4th and 18 with 3 timeouts, I don't know. I think you got to go for it here. That's what they're doing. Childs in the pocket. He throws this one to the sticks, and it's caught by Nick Marsh, and it's a 1st down. You guys can let me know about it in the comments. I know my user defense is atrocious. I know it is. But I'm trying to do it just to make things fun. 2 minutes to go now. They're going to run the ball. Up the middle they go, and they pick up 2 yards with Jace Clarizio. He averages about 50 yards rushing per game. He's at 42 in this one. They go RPO now to the outside, and it's going to be a open field tackle for TJ Metcalf. 1:45 to go in this game. 3rd down upcoming. Spartans still have all 3 timeouts. 3rd and 5. Here is Childs in the pocket. Throws to the tight end. He's got it on the catch and run inside the 10-yard line of the 7. That's like a 66 overall freshman tight end making that play right there. And now with 1:32 to go, this is where the game starts to get interesting. They will run it. No, they're going to throw it to the outside. Excellent open field tackle by Brandon Hillman. Aiden Childs, 320 yards passing in this game. He's been really good. Here is Childs. Throws the screen out. Another good tackle in the open field. This time it's Shamari Earls making the play. Time continuing to wind down. 1:13 to go. Here is Cole Sullivan on the pressure. Down at the 1-yard line. The question now has to become, was he in? It looked like it for a second. 4th and goal, 1 minute to go. Here's the game. Childs is sacked at the 6-yard line by Troy Bowles. What a stand by Michigan. And I don't know if we can go back and look at the replay now. You can't. But it looked like it probably should have been a touchdown with forward progress. It was an all-out blitz here for Michigan on 4th and goal at the 1-yard line. The routes just took way too long to develop. It should have been a quick hitter. Troy Bowles came in untouched and might have just ended this game. Of course, Michigan State does have all 3 timeouts, though, so they can stop the clock 3 times. But a first down would end this game. Here is Marshall up the middle. Jordan Marshall just called game. And Michigan State can still call their last remaining 2 timeouts. But this game is over. Here's Marshall again on the carry. And at this point, you just want to make sure you hang on to the football and you don't fumble. Here's Marshall again up the middle. Marshall takes this one, bounces it to the outside. That is going to do it. That's the last timeout from Michigan State. And at this point in the game, you can just kneel it and end it. The Paul Bunyan Trophy will stay in Ann Arbor as it's a 35-28 victory over the Spartans. What a game. I mean, this was one of the best games so far of the series. And I wouldn't expect it to be any other way when you're playing against a rival, and especially a rival like Michigan State. We know they're not that good, but they're a gritty team. They are going to play a tough game against you. And that's what they did in this one. But at the end of the day, the better team came out on top. Bryce Underwood outperformed Aiden Childs, which is kind of crazy to say when Aiden Childs played as well as he did in this game. That was the funnest game we've played so far of the series, and both offenses played really well. 355 yards for Michigan, 377 for Little Brother. And they didn't run the ball as well as they did in the first half. When it came to the second half, they were kind of stopped in the run game, and we dominated in the run game in the second half. We passed the ball for 214 yards. 1 turnover by us. They didn't turn the ball over. So Aiden Childs played a really good game in this one. Bryce Underwood did throw an interception. Childs had 324 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. And then Ahmad Hardy, 68 yards. Isaac Brown, not a great game for him. Jordan Marshall had 30 yards on 4 carries, but I think I had like 3 of them. That pass to Tommy McIntosh was beautiful. It was a really good completion. Andrew Marsh, 2 catches for 30 yards. And then defensively here, 10 tackles for Shamari Earls. What a game by the sophomore corner. Troy Bowles, Cam Brandt, and TJ Metcalf with sacks. But of course, the sack by Troy Bowles was the biggest of the game. And it's a 35-28 victory. And that extends our winning streak to 3. And that's a perfect 3-0 on the episode. It also allows us to move to 8-2. And at this point in the season, you have 2 games left. You have Rutgers. And then we don't even have to talk about that last game because you already know what it is. It's the game for a chance to potentially go to the Big Ten championship game. Paul Walters from Detroit, Michigan. We're recruiting really well out of Detroit. We do get the commitment out of him. Raymond will go to Alabama. So Reggie Raymond, the tight end athlete, is not going to be coming to Michigan as we are up to number 8 in the country. We're playing against a 1-9 Rutgers in the next episode. And looking at the college football playoff top 25, we're up to number 8. USC still the number 1 team in the country. UCLA does have a chance here. If they beat USC, they're probably going to the college football playoff, but with a loss to USC, they stand no chance at doing that. As it stands, we are projected to be an 8 seed in the upcoming college football playoff, but of course, we already know about Ohio State. But what you don't know about them is they've had a really bad season. They're 6-4. They're the 22nd best team in the country. I don't think that they're as good as they've been in the past, obviously. So I think there's a good chance we could beat them. And the next episode would then be against Rutgers, Ohio State. And then if we're able to go to the Big Ten championship, then we'll play that game as well in the next episode. And then the following episode would be college football playoff games if we win that game. Just let me know what you guys want to see in the next episode. We can just make it Rutgers and Ohio State and then allow the postseason action to be the next episode. Or we can go Rutgers, Ohio State, Big Ten championship if we get there. And if we lose the Big Ten championship, then do we do the bowl game and an off-season episode? You get what I'm saying? So just let me know what you guys want to see in the next episode, and I'll look at the comments and I'll make a decision from there. Bryce Underwood, 14 touchdowns, 7 interceptions on a season, nearly 2,000 yards passing. Ahmad Hardy, 609 yards rushing. Isaac Brown, 480, and Jordan Marshall with 273. I did tell you Jordan Marshall's probably going to lead the team in rushing touchdowns, and that has been the case so far this year. And then Andrew Marsh, kind of a quiet episode for him. Only 40 catches, 517 yards on the season. Tommy McIntosh has been a pretty fun receiver to have in this offense. I love his 6'5", 211 size with the speed. It makes for a fun combo. And then defensively, I feel like we did do a little bit better of a job at getting to the quarterback in this episode. Cameron Brandt especially with 5.5 sacks on the season, has taken over that top spot. So I think we got after the quarterback a lot better in this episode. TJ Metcalf, 5 interceptions on the year. This is an All-American level season along with Shamari Earls. It's been a fun series so far. I know you guys have enjoyed it. I've enjoyed putting it together. Like I said, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys want to see in the next episode, and we'll make a decision from there. But recruiting looks really good for the remaining guys. There's really not a remaining guys, not remaining. So there's really not a whole lot to talk about there. Jared Wenton, though, maybe we can't even schedule a visit for him because our last 2 games are on the road. It's going to be a battle for Notre Dame. Hopefully we can take it to the offseason potentially. That's going to do it. If you guys enjoyed it, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. See ya.